Or, sorry, Hildebrand, which is a Hindenburg-ish... No? Okay.
no.
Because this is my first time looking at it, and I'm like, what the hell is this thing?
It's like a Richthofen with 2 front guns.
It's
I
based
see
on the O
that.
class, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
in this case, it's the gear. It has the same guns as the
Okay.
gear, but then
Okay.
you put a flight deck in the middle.
And then you throw a bunch of, like, these little secondaries a la the carriers, like Graf Zeppelin. Or Schlieffen.
Yes.
Schlieffen's got these too, I think. Okay. And then you've got the 105s over here, like we've seen before too. So these are the 150s and the 105s. Yeah, Aegir and Zeppelin had a love child, and Pockington bought it. Pockington was so excited to get this ship. Pockington, are you glad you got it?
I wish I had it. But
You can
my
spam
God,
planes.
Don't you wish you had better RNG?
I
Loving it.
didn't buy anything, like, so it's not about RNG. It's like, I wish it wasn't RNG based in the first place, and I could just buy it for a reasonable price.
So what the-
Reasonable price of 35,000 doubloons?
No, like the regular price they charge for it, like maybe just like 20-ish.
So, for those who don't know, you get this in bundles, right, for doubloons. So you have no idea how expensive it's going to be unless
No, you
you're
do.
lucky and get it right away.
You do
What do you
the
mean you do?
sequence thing, like 50,000 is like the limit.
Right, so that's what I mean. Like, you know it's going to cost up to a certain amount, right, at the max. You do wish you had better RNG, but you were determined to get it. I know a lot of people were. So this is an interesting setup because you only have the turrets in the front, so you can sit bow in and just back up and launch planes as you need, right? And then spam your guns.
Yep.
It's mostly you spam your planes and use your guns if you need it.
In between.
I can go into further detail about the ship then.
I like the torpedoes on deck. That's totally not a fire hazard. But anyways, so you do that, and then now this is, since it's an Aegir hull, is this considered like a super cruiser when it comes to fire and flood time? Like
That's
duration?
correct.
Okay, got it. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the build then, and I'm going to lean in heavily to you guys with talking about that simply because I have the ship, because of course I have it for test purposes, or review purposes, but I haven't really gone into it or looked at it, so it's super weak to anything with 30mm pen, so like Yamatos and stuff.
Well-
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go into the build first, though.
Yep. Okay,
One
so
thing at a time.
she's got two different types of planes. She's got the torpedo bombers, and then looks like the high-level bombers. Are these HE or AP bombs? Looks like HE.
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 Okay, good. So, and this is not Lutyens. Okay, interesting. I don't know why you wouldn't. You would. Well,
He
wouldn't
makes no
Lutyens help?
sense.
Huh?
He doesn't make much sense because the 30 threshold that you need is a bit too high for the ship to get it in a reasonable amount of time.
If it had rockets, it'd be different.
And,
Yeah.
and the problem is, like, the build you need is so unique on this ship that if you want to use Lutyens, you couldn't use Lutyens
On any other
on
cruiser.
any other of your German cruisers. So
Yeah. Okay. And also, your main battery loader, you're not going to use your main battery as much from what you guys were just saying. So that doesn't really track well either.
no, you just don't have the amount of guns to get the 140 hits.
Right.
So-
Right. That's what I mean. And then if you're low on HP, okay, launch a plane and go spot 3 ships, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, so Lutyens is not ideal. Fine, good. I like that. Would a Von Jutland be? No. Anyway.
No, there's absolutely nothing.
Well, Von Jutland is only helpful for the consumable specialist, but you're not using consumables on this ship as much anyway, so that doesn't track either. Okay,
No.
you haven't gotten 100 shell hits on this ship yet. Okay.
You'll need 140. 100 isn't even enough.
Well, but he's saying, yeah, that's why he's saying it's so far away. Torpedo
Yeah,
planes at
you're
low
not
HP.
gonna-
Okay.
You're not realistically getting 140 hits during a game.
Okay, well, let's go through the build then, and let's take a look. Yeah, you can theoretically proc everything. It's just it needs to be like a full battle, like a full 20-minute and whatever. By that point, the buffs don't really matter so much. Okay, so you got main armaments mod 1, and then you've got damage control. Okay, I can see that. Usually in cruisers, you might think about going for engine, but if you're sitting bow on to most of that incoming damage, you're more worried about fire spam probably. You've got aiming systems, air groups modification. Now this is so that your prep time is decreased. Also, it buffs your squadron speed and HP. So on a ship that you're spamming aircraft all the time, that's pretty much a no-brainer. Then you've got concealment. And then you finish up with main battery reload, because you don't have any plane skills. Okay. So, anything on that you guys would suggest differently?
Looks good.
It's just the thing you could use the special hydro mod if you really wanted, but otherwise I agree.
Okay. Okay. What's up, Order of Battle? Been a while. Bow and hull is pretty resilient to AP unless they land on the flight deck, but weak to HE all around. Can be dev struck from the side. Yes. Find yourself using guns quite often in supplement damage. Heavy AP and top grade gunner skills worked for you. Okay. I mean, these are the 305s from an A-gear, so they're pretty good AP. Okay, so standard guns, or standard captain, shell, gun feeder, focus fire training. You absolutely want this on this ship because of that buff to airstrike armament reload time. Survivability expert, concealment expert, or sorry, priority target, superintendent concealment, adrenaline rush, and then pack a punch. This helps with torpedoes. Does this help with your plane launch torpedoes?
It does.
Yes, it does.
Okay, and that's why that's so
There's-
important.
Like Pockington said, this is a build I initially recommended.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is only one change you can debate of, and that's the 1-point skill.
Okay.
You can make an argument instead of the gun feeder of taking the torpedo related skill
Swift fish.
to make your torpedoes even faster. Because that means you drop a little bit further out with your torpedoes, which probably is a good thing in this ship because they are quite squishy. So if you
The
drop them
bombers
a
are
little
squishy,
bit-
right? The torpedo bombers.
The torpedo
Right.
bombers. So if you
So-
drop them a little bit further out, there's a little bit of a higher chance to get the third torpedo to drop before the plane gets shot down. And the distance you drop further out is then compensated by the higher speed.
Right.
But it's a small change, and the gun feeder is still good. So I think that's a toss-up based on personal preference. What you
Yeah,
want.
it comes down to what you
Everything
find
else I
yourself
would
shooting
do
most.
Exactly the same.
Okay. Wolfie, as far as no last stand skill, for this particular cruiser, if you're planning on putting it in a position where you just sit bow in on something, then you don't need to worry about your rudder or engine being incapacitated. And even if it does, if you're sitting bow in, it really doesn't matter because you're not going to be moving that much anyways. So that's why last stand is probably not as important on this particular ship. It's a great question, though. It's a great question. It's the only cruiser you haven't taken last stand on. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And also looks like we have a draw going, so make sure you say something in chat and make sure you're a follower. Signals, you just have anti-det. Now, Pock, if you're doing anti-det, why don't you do other signals too?
Yeah, I would run at least the standard flooding chance flag. It's super cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and it
You want it
helps
for your
with the flooding
force.
chance. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, go look at the chance, because I think it's like 40%, which is pretty bad.
39, which it's actually average for
39, yeah.
for a crew for CV based torpedoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty bad overall.
I mean, the flag's nice and all, but it's your bombers that just yeet things.
So if you want to save, yeah, I understand you're trying to save credits. So okay. So you could, I agree with you guys that if the torpedo bombers are that important to this particular ship, then why wouldn't you want the extra flood chance? Like that to me makes the most sense. And then from there, I mean, you could literally just run that by itself. The fire flood chance is okay if you're going to use HE with your main battery. Fire and flood reduction would be very handy as well. But
It would.
okay.
Obviously, heal helps always and stuff.
Yep.
But
Yep.
like
Yeah.
the flag for the flying chance flag costs like 70,000 credits or so.
It's expensive. So,
No, the flying chance is super cheap with 72,000.
oh, the
honestly.
flooding. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant
Yeah.
this one. If this were ranked or clan battles, you'd be full. Sure, of course. But my thinking, Pock, is I wouldn't even bother running Juliet Charlie. If you detonate, who cares? Just go back and go next. I mean, it's like you're not saving a ton of money if you detonate, because most of the time, by the time you detonate in the game, for the most part, you've been involved, right? Like, I don't know. It's just a personal thing to me. Unless you've got a ton of these sitting around, I don't know that I would invest in that.
Cruisers in general just don't detonate often, and I
Yeah.
don't expect Hildebrand to detonate at all.
It's only the turrets, really, that could detonate. You've detonated pretty early on before, so just paranoid. I get it. One of the other things you could do, I always highlight this to people, is you can go with magazine modification 1. That's a 70% risk of detonation, and if you're not taking the flooding chance flag, which hurts your risk of detonation, then you can just do that, and it's not foolproof, and your main battery might break a little bit more frequently, but you won't detonate as much. So,
It's not the
I don't
worst idea.
uh-huh. And then it saves you from having to use the flags. So, all right, whatever. Let's get into the game, and let's see how the Hildebrand plays. This is my first ever look at the ship, so I'm going to apologize if I mess things up. You are in a random battle. With Son and Sin. Okay, cool. Straight tier 10 game. 2 subs and a carrier. Man, you won the draw on that one big time. Not.
Why is so not in a Hildebrand as well? You're not toxic enough.
I think Stone didn't like it, if I remember correctly.
I can understand
Okay.
that.
So, putting HE on. Does he just not like how it plays, Bach, or does he just not like it out of like principle? I like looking at the hull. It's a very interesting design.
The thing is, like, I saw Stone play it a couple of times on stream, and he's trying to make it too much like a cruiser. Like, he plays it more like you would play the American hybrids,
Okay.
and it just doesn't do well in this. You have to really embrace into the planes, and Stone doesn't like to play carriers too much.
Well, and you also want to put your yeah, and that's fine.
I'm gonna disagree with Grunty from my one lonely experience in operations. You can play that thing into a cruiser if you want to, but neglecting your planes does hurt a bit. But
Okay.
like if you just focus on the bombers, you'll be fine. Like those things just yeet poor destroyers.
They
Okay.
have like a 5-minute cooldown.
Of all of the hybrids in the game, Hildebrand leans more planes, like much more so than any other ship.
I mean, I won't disagree, but like if you really hate it, like if you hate hybrids, you're not gonna like this ship.
I mean,
Okay.
why do you? If you hate hybrids, then why do you have it? Like, it's a premium.
Because
So-
it's your and then there's a snowflake event coming up.
I probably would have gone for Hindenburg right there.
He just wants to do
No.
scouting, because I guess he wants to find the destroyer or the sub.
Okay.
I don't think you want to attack the Hindenburg. The
So-
planes will not do well with this because, weirdly enough, you don't get a heal on these planes. You get a heal on the dive bombers, but not on the torps, which is very unusual for planes.
Rip your 4501. Right, but I mean, Hindenburg
They
versus
might drop
Ohio.
up
I'd rather
every
drop the Hindenburg. That's all.
Nah, I'd rather drop the Ohio.
But
Planes come back every 70 seconds-ish or so, so
Look, your
yeah,
torps are
you
already
don't
ready.
need to-
Yeah, it's like
Right.
67 seconds or something.
68-ish base.
with the Germans get the heal on the plane on the bombers, not the torp planes, I believe.
No, they get both on the
They
on
get
the
both?
CVs. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, heal. No heal on the torpedo bombers, but heal on the dive bombers.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the Hildebrand, but not for the carriers.
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe they are the only carrier line that gets the heal, like at least Tech Tree, that get the heal on the
Yeah.
bombers.
Okay.
Also, you should be careful with the Hildebrand like that because, yeah, she can get citadel pretty easily if you're not careful.
Yep, you did
And
just
she
get
only gets,
cheeked.
yeah, 30 millimeter front and stuff.
And you also have the problem like you have a flat surface when facing forward from the elevated flight deck, where it's very easily to get hit.
Okay.
Like
Don't get hit.
Just don't get hit. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
that's
like
a-
the idea that you could back up there and you could actually fire for free because you weren't detected from that center mass.
He still got, I mean, because he's not using prop mod, it takes a while to back up, and he still got citadel through the almost through
Yep.
the front.
Yep. But prop mod isn't available, right?
It
Did you
is
say
not?
that,
You
or-
can take prop mod. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
that you don't want
Oh, it's
to
in slot
because
4.
of planes.
Yeah, because planes. Right. Yeah. Okay. He hasn't been using autopilot yet, from what I've seen, Wolfie. Usually, if you're
Yeah.
using autopilot, you're hitting the map key, so that's your way of telling.
You really want to get into the map. You want to move forward because there's nothing on your side. You need to get moving.
That's what he's doing. Oh, look at
A lot of
Jinan.
people-
Absolutely what you want to see with your planes.
You didn't
That's
convince
fine.
me there's ass.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole, the one thing about Hildebrand, I mean, people may not like playing against it, but she actually requires a fair amount of skill to utilize properly.
Mhm.
Like you have to balance a lot between moving your ship, shooting your guns, and flying your planes. A
Mhm.
lot
Yeah,
more
it
so
was-
than the other hybrids I've seen.
You also have to be quite. Sorry.
I would say about 75% of the players would disagree with you on that.
No, I 100% agree with that, CT. I hate playing against skillful players.
Like,
You also have to. You also have to be good at carriers. Like you have to make these counts. Rob,
Yeah.
if you're only hitting one torpedo out of your 3 with every single attack you make, you're not gonna be good in the Hildebrand.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm
here
just
comes
talking
your.
about how much you're doing. Like, there's a ton of things to balance on the Hildebrand, and yeah, you just like you'll see the difference between like an experienced player and a very good player because you have to do a lot of balancing between planes, positioning,
sub.
and guns.
Oh, they're gonna ram.
Don't the planes have like a 5-minute regen rate?
Bombers
Yeah.
do.
The dive
The
bombers,
bomb-
yes.
Yeah, the dive bombers are 5 minutes base, and then the
Okay.
torpedoes is like
It's 80 seconds base, 80 seconds base, and you get it down to like 60 something ish.
Okay. Loyalty token chest and stream raiders, by the way.
You could probably AP here instead of HEing.
ooh, and I think you stuck your neck out a little bit too much because
Yep.
now you're gonna get farmed by Genon for a bit.
Yeah. I like though that you just put yourself in reverse when you started flying off.
Was Hydro up? I didn't see it.
I don't think so.
And pay
No,
attention.
not yet. That should be up.
Yeah, that's a Genon. That's something you really want Hydro to be up for.
Well,
Oh,
you could heal too, by the way. Why are you DCPing?
oh, the Sherman?
I would not be shooting here.
Yeah. I would not have DCP'd and shot, but okay. Oh, no, it was a
You-
Sherman in the smoke.
Okay. In that case, yeah, you can kind of get away with it. That's fine.
Keep moving forward so you can smack the Essex, because he hasn't moved yet. Best part of these hybrids, right, is he just is. You're out of your gun range now, so you can actually just yeet out your planes and kill him.
Yep, this is where your torpedo bombers comes in and chase down the Hindenburg.
I would.
And then, yeah, if Yamato doesn't finish him off, you can do that too. And Yamato can't finish him off.
Nope.
Ooh, Essex still there.
Yeah, except he actually started moving, unfortunately for them. Yeah, I'm sure you'd expect the Yamato to finish him off.
Yeah, but I don't like this.
Yeah, you're starting to get overextended now.
Yeah. You assumed a little bit too much. Like, Essex just literally flew over to smoke up the Hindenburg.
Was also not fully aimed in on a drop with the way the torpedoes actually moved. You, you could have landed 3 out of 3 here if you just waited like a second longer.
Another thing is, like, Essex, like, yeah, you torped him, but remember, a full health HP carrier and a 1 health HP carrier has the same firepower.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have at least tried to finish off the Hindenburg, get him out of the game, and then both you and Yamato would finish off the Essex.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason, Wolfie, why he's not shooting, is he just didn't want to be detected and shot at. Obviously, the plane's going to spot him anyway.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Ouch.
Ship is on fire.
You're not DCPing that? Okay.
Problem solved, sir.
Alright, now fortunately the Worcester is south of that middle island there. I don't know that I would go this way.
You're gonna have to post up somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Alright, bombers go. I would have
So
waited on the
who-
bombers until the sub torpedoes hit the Louisiana.
Who are you going to nuke?
Nothing. These planes all gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had to fly
Those-
through Louisiana to do that.
Well, I guess the answer to the question is he's going to nuke his own planes.
Mm-hmm.
So these planes are fast, but they're pretty squishy, even with the heal up, so don't fly it into any more than 2 ships at most.
Yep.
You're very lucky that this Hindenburg is not shooting you.
Well, he's not
For
spotted,
whatever reason.
and Essex just smoked you, which is nice, but Worcester has radar.
Well, force him to burn it. Like, who's gonna shoot you?
So now you've got to decide: do you use your guns on Hindenburg, or do you use your torpedo bombers on the approaching ships? And this is why I didn't like when you curled south here. If you were north of this island, you'd have some options, but now you really don't.
Can't even launch the torpedoes.
I would not launch
Right,
torpedoes, they're a
anymore.
waste.
Like,
Well, they actually
Like,
managed to hit.
You need to micro your ship here, you're too close.
Mm-hmm. Oh, double fire again.
Problem solved, sir.
So, unlucky for you, one of Hildebrand's biggest strengths is against destroyers.
Yeah.
Her level
Our crew-
bombers can literally one-shot some destroyers, and her torpedo bombers provide constant spotting.
Mm-hmm.
hey, Vincent died. That's good.
Ooh. Another cheek citadel.
I might
Yep.
take a ram here.
Yeah, I don't think he's
Yeah.
gonna make it.
It's a good try though, but yes, ramming is your best option, if you can make it.
All right. Well, we got ourselves a death pick,
Yeah,
so there you
honestly.
go.
Not finishing off that Hindenburg kind of came back to bite you there.
Oh yeah. But I love it. You died to another. You died to another hybrid. So that's kind of fun. All right. So this is a double death pick with a ship on fire. So that's kind of fun.
But I think this game illustrates something good. Like, if you want, what happens when you try to play it as a cruiser and actually get shot at? Like, this ship is not tanky, not at
Nope.
all.
Nope.
And
Well-
even with bow in, you took like massive damage from the Louisiana guns.
Well, he wasn't bow in though.
He was kind of mostly bow in.
It looked to me like he was cheeked from that angle, but anyway.
It doesn't matter. Like, you get punished both ways. If you cheeked or if you bow in.
Yep. So the game gets interesting from here. Well, sure, you just have Sin left in the Vermont.
Yeah, Son died in middle, unfortunately, in his booster.
Wooshda.
Not an easy map to play the booster in. There's just like there's few island cover in between, and you have to use a lot of range.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that teaches Son a lesson. Don't bring the Wooster into a bad map.
Yes.
Yep.
Just get better map RNG.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, Pock, if you had gone north of that island, I think you would have had at least an escape route. But because you went south, I mean, you saw what happened.
Mm-hmm. You probably would have still died overall, but you would have lasted a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he
Essex.
goes there, like if he kills the Hindenbrand first, he gets the ram off, and the enemy team has 2 ships less.
That is true. All right, Essex smoked himself.
Yeah, just unfortunately, the Hindenburg just is gonna cause a lot of problems from here on out. And you didn't get anything from shooting the Essex. He's still pretty healthy from what I've seen.
Yeah, the big thing, Gaelic, is he was just a little too aggressive in the mid part of the game.
It's also that it's an Essex, right? Like the ship can always smoke itself up and go dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you
Oof,
can't
that's
even...
a bit of a whiff.
Like, he
Shades.
died at about the 8-minute mark. Hildebrand can still launch, like, even if he has that 1 health hiding in the back of the map, he can still launch quite a bit of planes, provide spotting, get some occasional torp hits. So the fact he died early is actually going to costing his team quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Why you always have a spotter playing Buffalo? for the team play, of course.
I would probably play spotter playing Buffalo, honestly.
Fighter playing
Oh.
Des Moines is meta.
And there goes Essex. Killed by other Essex.
He deserved it.
Sure. All right, well, with that, you are technically in the lead, but you've got that pesky sub somewhere, like hunting all 3 battleships.
And then the enemy still has their CV, so you're kind of hoping your sub can take care of him.
Yep.
Or one of your battleships gets to snipe off their Essex.
I love the Wooster asking for smoke sex.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I know, right?
Sir, this is a family-friendly stream.
Kinky.
That's why you're not looking at the sub, okay.
Hmm?
Thunder's gonna bleed out here.
I was wondering what kind of sub they had in the
Oh.
game.
On his team is a test ship, so that's why I haven't commented
Yeah.
on it much.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's why he's not going to look at it too. Like, Stone and them, like, they all know
Oh, if it's
about
on
it.
stream. Yeah, but Pockington's not streaming, so he could.
Yeah. And
Right, but Pockington loves to send you replays.
That's true. But even if he went and looked at the Archer fish, it's okay.
Okay.
It's a test ship. It's going to happen on replays, but we just can't comment on the ship's capabilities. That's all.
Why do I have a feeling that the Essex is gonna whiff all the things and the Archerfish is gonna cap this out?
it is possible.
That's what's gonna happen here, right?
It's a possibility.
Possible.
But he just got spotted, so I'm pretty sure the Archer fish is going to get dropped.
There is nothing that can shoot the archer fish, so there's not much, like, Essex has to use his ASW to get in, or hope that he can do some. Yeah, that's... We'll see.
That was a dive, right? Probably.
Sub just surfaced on your cap.
And then on top of that, the
Hey, Iron
Worcester
Mills.
has to deal with the battleships charging him. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
lots of things to do here.
So, okay, so the Wooster went north. The Wooster went north because he's currently farming Sin's Vermont, and he's getting smoked by the Essex. That's hilarious.
Yeah, the
Is the
Essex
archer
doing
fish-
a very good job here.
Yeah, but is the archerfish going to torpedo the Essex off the butt? It looks like he is.
He might.
I mean, sadly, he kind of has to because, while the carrier doesn't need to get a hit, all he's dude's got to spot him to get him to go underwater. Like, that's how you would.
Yeah.
I would reset the cap.
Yeah.
That was
But
a
if
good
I-
smoke there.
If I'm Sin though in the Vermont, I'm thinking about getting back into the cap just to make sure, at the very least, it's stalled. He's gonna lose his ship over it, but
Mm-hmm.
If
Torps
it
up
gets
the butt.
reset, then the submarine can't cap out anymore.
mm-hmm,
Which
exactly.
probably what's needed here.
Or at the very least,
I mean-
pauses the point the capping. He's realizing it now, but it's far too late.
If he was in anything else but a Vermont, he'd have the times though.
So they are still ahead on points, unless it's a replay bug. They are still ahead on points, and now they definitely are because there goes the Essex, right out the bum.
1 minute and 30.
Now,
So,
now the question is the archerfish going to succumb to the bombers?
That doesn't even matter. It all comes down to can they get a reset or not. Or get in the cap in time.
It's getting a cap. The sub could only technically kill one of you.
Vermont, I think, will get there in time.
Not
The
if
way
he
he's
keeps
driving,
that
he
course
won't.
Going. Like,
He needs to be heading straight for the cap, not like at an angle.
oh my
like
god, the
this.
sub is pinging.
Yep,
What
the sub is pinging.
hell?
Oh.
Mine. And there goes the reset.
Yeah,
Why-
if you're winning, then you better throw. That's only natural.
Oh my god.
Well, it is a 4501, so he can just say, yeah. See, like none of the depth charges actually hit.
Is that something you really want to gamble on, though?
No, of course not. Now, okay, Vermont dies. Like Sin should have been in there a while ago, but whatever. He's still. The Montana's able to get, which is crazy. The Montana's going to get into this cap. Look at this.
And Montana was
Just
further
at
back.
the end. Just at the end. 28 seconds. 26 seconds. 25 seconds.
Hold on. Is the points accurate on this replay?
It looks like it is.
Okay, so just don't die and then you win.
Yep. And he's slow on the surface, that's right, from the Essex. So this Montana should have his plane up. And he should be absolutely like,
Nice work.
wow.
Yeah, you could just fire the guns in the general direction. That's
Unbelievable.
yes.
With all due respect, Pac.
Like,
With all due respect, Pac, the most interesting part of the battle is after you died.
Have you been watching Rob Pockington?
I mean, it's why you said it got interesting from there, but at the same time, you know, Pac, we gave you some feedback. I'd love to be able to give you more, and we could take a look at your replay render, and maybe I can, you know, tease
it's
out a
just-
little bit more things to say, but
I think it's mostly positioning and then the
Oh, yes.
one time not going for the Hindenburg.
Not eliminating Hindenburg. He YOLO'd in too quickly against 4 ships and found out that it's not tanky.
oh, that's right. That's what I wanted to do. Let me drop this for a sec. I want to go to the detailed report, and I want to look at the damage that you received from the artillery. Here it is right here. See, 5 AP shells from Louisiana for 22,000. That's got to be at least 1 or 2 citadels, right?
That's one citadel.
One.
Okay. And then similar from Ohio with 7 AP hits for 27,000. The point I'm getting at is it looked like he got cheek citadeled at least once from each of those battleships. So,
I think the Ohio can do this with only pens.
I think there was a citadel in there, but
There might have
also
been, but it not necessarily. It didn't have to be, but
most
probably was one.
likely.
okay. Anyway. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because those were two incidences when, had you been directly bow in, you probably would have taken less damage. That's all.
I'm not sure, like the Georgia, like the Ohio overmatch is the 30 millimeters, and so
Yeah, but
yeah.
putting slightly more bow in between you and the Citadel may reduce the chance of the Citadel.
It may.
I mean, don't 406s punch 30 millimeter?
No.
It's 27 bow and 30 millimeter side, if I remember correctly. So as long as you punch right through the bow, it'll work just fine.
Like the thing, it was just peeking out there a little bit too much. Like
Yep. Early on.
Yeah.
So both times you did that, you kind of really got punished for it.
And finally, you're a Hildebrand. Everyone hates you right now. So, like, there's
Yeah.
3 other ships next to you. You're gonna get shot at first.
Yep. Hey, Seabear. Yes, you did miss sinking hybrid, but that's okay. You can go back
Like I
and see it if
think
you
what
want.
you do here is like you park on this island right here until the
Yep.
Hindenburg is dead,
Yep. Just use your planes.
and only then you move up.
I would have stayed on the island right there, just kind of take shots at long range, and finish off the Hindenburg. You don't want to get too close because, as you saw, your planes just spawn into the A blob and explode, and there's nothing you can do against a battleship charging you.
So right here was that decision, and I was talking about this. I thought he was going to head south or north of this island here, but he decided to go south of it instead, which obviously sealed his fate.
I don't know where you go from this position. This is already bad.
It's already bad, but if
Once-
he's on the north side, once the Louisiana and St. Vincent commit to the south of that island, he just goes north.
Why are you being so aggressive in a standard battle?
It's kind of the standard teammate mentality of, oh, we're losing, gotta push, or we're winning, gotta push. Pick which one.
Like the whole problem is here also with the enemy ships being so close. Your planes get shot down while they still launch. And if you're too close, like it always takes a little bit of a time until you can actually initiate the drop because the planes need to fully launch. And this is
Yep. So you died. Pockington died at 12 minutes, and the battle lasted a full 20. So almost half the battle was without Pockington.
yeah, that's like 2 more dive bomber squadrons you can launch and like 7 or 8 more drop bombers.
Yep. So even if you got down to 1 HP and hid behind the D4 island for the rest of the game,
Yep,
you would have
yep,
still
yep.
contributed a lot.
Yeah, I think I would have really stopped there on this island.
Like, you still won in the end, but if you played that one a little bit better, it would have been a pretty easy victory.
But I'll tell you, this was fun to watch. Almost as fun as a COTS match.
Not go that far.
As we have international COTS coming up, and I just posted a link in chat for Team League, which is starting up soon. Team League, I would say, guys, get into it. Doesn't matter what your win rate is, get into it. We'll talk about it after the replay. So what are we going to have for title for this one? I put YOLO down, but I don't know. Any other ones?
Like positioning or something like this. Like that's really the main issue. Like position the ship correctly.
Okay.
Puck, the how many games had you played in the ship before? Like was it the first game in the ship? Like it was like the 10th?
Either way, it had to have been an earlier game, I would imagine. Let's see. This was October 5th when he did this game. October 5th. So that's pretty soon after the event started, isn't it?
I think the ship was available right at the patch day. No?
Yeah, it was on patch day. Just boil for the containers, and you could.
Oh, this was your only random battle in it. Yeah, I
Aha.
mean, that might explain.
That just shows you how powerful the ship is. You don't even need to be in the game to win.
I mean, I almost
I really-
want to change your title to FAFO then, but YOLO's fine.
I really wish Wargaming didn't release the Hildebrand, because she is not fun to play against if you're a destroyer.
No, I wouldn't think so. All right. Well, Pock, thanks for sending that replay in. Very entertaining, and not because of you.
Yeah, man.